Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer League match. We've got another exciting Week 7, duking it out. Two teams trying to stay in the Invitational League, trying to avoid that relegation. I had the pleasure of commentating their first race, and I get the pleasure of commentating their second race. Both teams are currently tied at 9 points apiece, so everything is on the line here. My name's Willard J. Bradley. Hope everyone's having a fun and fine Saturday. We got Oops versus the Bomb Squad, Rallin Tanker, Divicines, F Coffin, and Sinak. And we should be getting started here pretty soon. It's open boot start Randomizer. So enemies and bosses are going to be shuffled. That's going to play a major part in this. The other major part in this is the fact that it is also a co-op. And what that means is that these two teams are going to be working together on all the pieces of the puzzle to try and find all the items, where all the bosses are, get all the crystals, etc., etc. And we did get a fire rod right out the gate here in Sanctuary. Very nice find. You know, looks like we already have at least one pendant here in the Light World over at Desert Palace. Got almost some similar routing. The two players on the bottom going for the Uncle route to begin with. F Coffin going for some Woolhan strats to get 225 rupees to start things off. The nice safety going into Kakariko, having money for like Bottle Vendor or just buying bombs right up. While Rallin heading up to check the Lumberjack, and if there is a required item over here, then that would require a completion of Aga Tower. Let's see what we got. That looked like 50 bucks, so nothing exciting there. So as far as we know, we won't be defeating Aga today, but you never know. These seeds could turn into beating Aga just to get to the darkness. Let's see if that happens. Alright, heading in the Lost Woods. We also have a shield at the mushroom spot. Divicine's heading down to the dam. I'm going to check the two items over there. And be curious to see if they do head on over to Mini Moldern Cave after this. Oh, nice. Immediate sword in the sunken treasure spot. So that'll help out for Mini Moldern Cave, because I was like, I don't know if they have enough bombs to deal with that. I didn't get a chance to quickly see what was that library. That was such a quick check. Happened so fast. Nice heads-up play from Rollin here, grabbing the free bombs from the Bonk Rocks next to the Fortune Teller hut just north of Kakariko. It's nice if you don't have bombs coming into Kakariko and you want to ensure that you get some. And we are heading into Mini Moldern Cave. As we're also seeing Chicken Hut. Let's see what Fred finds. A heart container. Very nice find early on. This is Randomizer. There is going to be some harder enemies scattered about. So having as much health to potentially tank some unavoidable damage is always good. And it looks like a bunch of money and a mushroom here over in Mini Moldern Cave. Let's see what we find over in Kakariko. Heart piece, bombs, another heart container, 50 bucks. A heart piece. A bottle with a fairy. It's a nice find. 10 arrows. There's the Moon Pearl. It's one of the pieces we need to get to the Dark World. Very nice find as well. And we're getting a real close-up look at that Ice Rod Cave item. It's funny. Let's see what this bottle grants us today. Ooh, nice. That's also a very nice find. Now, bow is an interesting subject in the case of Randomizer because bow, for the most part, is only actually required for beating the boss of Palace of Darkness. With the enemy shuffle, you know, there's no mimics guaranteed. There's no bow lock. to get to the right side in Palace of Darkness, or to get to the back of Eastern Palace because the enemies are shuffled. But any more weapons is just always better to have. You'd rather have more weapons than less. And, you know, if we find another bow, having silvers is a huge advantage as well. All right, Divisides, after that south route, heading up to Eastern Palace, looks like. Down to a heart already, so gotta be extra careful. It's kind of the downside about open boots. I mean, at least with a sword, you can dash through most enemies, but it's also very easy to just accidentally dash into something that's going to hurt. Something that a sword's not going to stop. Alright, Saha's Closet, first look here. We got a hook shot. That is a huge find. Not only because, you know, it opens up access to certain points in the game, it's required to defeat or complete certain dungeons, but it's also just a really nice item to have to stun and or kill certain enemies. You know, there's a lot of enemies that will just instant die to the hook shot, so having that early is really nice. Question in chat, can places still be locked by weapon-specific enemies? The only ones I'd say are the Freezors in Ice Palace, since they are not shuffled. So you still need a Fire Rod or Bombos to get through Ice Palace. There might be another instance of it, but... No, I think that's it. Yeah, because like the Igors at the back of Eastern won't be there, potentially. I think they're just always removed. Nice glove here in the first chest of Eastern Palace. So we're one item away from Darkhold access, either another glove or a hammer. As we're getting another look at... I guess we're getting our first look at the Hyrule Castle over on F. Coughlin's side. Okay, there's the map in Eastern. There's 20 bucks here in the map chest of Hyrule Castle. Sinek grabbing his hook shot. We'll probably head into Eastern Palace at this point. Yeah, with a sword and a hook shot like Eastern Palace, even if it's a crystal, it feels like a pretty okay play. You know, you could find a fire source, and well, we do have the fire rod, so logically, the boss of this dungeon is available, depending on what the boss is. One of the nice newer updates about with this randomizer is if you can find the compass for a dungeon, you can check your map, and it will tell you what the boss is. It'll show you a cute little picture of the boss and let you know what is here. So if we see like a Trinex on the map, then we'll know, oh, okay, well, we better get out of here. We have no means of taking care of that. Sinek dancing around with that Moldarm, trying to avoid taking a death there. He does have that Fairy in a Bottle, so even if he had taken a death, it wouldn't have been bad, but, you know, obviously you're trying to hold on to that Fairy in a Bottle as long as he possibly can. But gets through it, no problem. Another heart container here in Agnes Cave. Let's see, and just a Popo guarding Zelda Cell. Let's see what our last item is here. Here's the map, which... Okay, and Sinek gonna go ahead and relinquish that. He is looking like he's gonna head maybe towards Dark Cross, which is a pretty rough play. He does have the Fire Rod, so he can light things up a little bit. And unfortunately, it looked like Divisides did take a death in Eastern, so we're not going to see too much more of that. But we'll see if Sinek can get a little bit further. Oh, I'm sorry, I had things messed up. That was Fred that was duking it out with the Moldarm, not Sinek. My bad. Got them switched around. Alright, let's see if Dark Cross is going to be an item or if it's the small key. It's gonna be the small key. That is unfortunate for Fred. That's kind of the risk of going for the Dark Cross play, especially when you know where a glove is, because you don't want to do Dark Cross for the small key or a map when you don't need to. But I mean, if you can get it, then it's only a little bit of time lost. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know if I necessarily agree with continuing in here, especially on one heart. Yeah, okay. Well, he died to something he could not see. Yeah, continuing there to get to the back of escape when you know where a glove is. I mean, it would be beneficial if he did, you know, he was able to get through that and find something. Ooh, and there's the lamp. So that mushroom out of Mini Moldering Cave leading to the lamp, which, you know, opens up quite a few more things for us right now. We can get to that vanilla big key chest in Eastern. We can get up the mountain, which I think is a more important scenario. And can hookshot across, check East Death Mountain. So that's a lot of checks opening up for Divicines right now. And that information, he's sending Rollin straight to Eastern to go get that. Unless this a Lycalia check. Just for a couple arrows. A double check. Yeah, our other glove or hammer's got to be very likely to be up on Death Mountain. But also at the same time, with Moon Pearl, sword, and a lamp, all we're missing right now is another sword, and we could potentially do Aga to get to the Dark World. Would not be ideal. Now, unfortunately, Sinek taking a death in Eastern as well, so that kind of evens things up for both of the teams. He's gonna go back in. Okay. I don't know. I might have missed it if he got the compass or not, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Fred seeing that sword, Fred being F. Coughlin, sending the information to Sinek. Gonna head down, get that sword. We do have, with that glove, that also puts Zora in logic. Still a little low on money. Yeah, Rollin about to get that glove. Let's see if he continues in Eastern or not. I feel like I would just grab that glove and go up the mountain. But it does kind of feel bad coming back to Eastern a second time. How many more people? I mean, we do have that fairy in a bottle, but like... Okay, we got 2 deaths in Eastern so far. Can we get a third? I'm a little surprised that Fred didn't send... Well, maybe that's not the right wording. I'm surprised that Bomb Squad didn't send Sinek to like check back of escape right away once he got that glove. But heading over to Agnes Cave is a one-off. It is one that can easily get isolated. See what is on Desert Ledge. I think we already saw that for another player. Yeah, it was the 300 bucks. Oh yeah, this was just a heart container, so. But we are getting our trip up the mountain here on Divicine's side. We're gonna find a heart. Peace. Oh, lovely. Go. Rollin dancing around with this Lionel. He's gonna make it through. That looked like maybe another heart piece here in Spectacle Cave. Heart piece on top as well. So we're going to head over to East Death Mountain. And keep looking further there. We have Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave. We're just looking for one more item to let us go into the Dark World. And it's either going to be the hammer, or mitts, or something to get us into Aga Tower. And you never know. Things could be rude. It could just be, hey, here's a cape. Go do Fighter Sword Aga Tower. Or Fire Rod Aga Tower, I guess. Oh, just an Argus. Okay, so this is a beatable boss. It's gonna be a little slow with Fighter Sword. Just have to do a double hooks, double spin to take out the puffs. But it is doable. It is a beatable boss, and it is in logic. What do we got over in Paradox Cave? There is our hammer and half magic. Both nice finds. Hammer gets us into the Dark World. Another heart piece, the flippers, and blue mail. Holy cow. Holy moly, that's a lot of goods. And I'm getting news from chat that there is a sword on Zora's Ledge. F. Coughlin trying to go for a splash delete. Ideally, you want to shoot 3 arrows into the wall, and then while those arrows are still spawned in or whatever, you drop 2 bombs and hop in the water, and then you just gotta go quick enough that you can hop down the ledge. But it's one of those things where there's some times where it just doesn't work. So there are ways to reset those values to try and make them work, but now that we know that where flippers are, we'll be able to get that sword later. Of course, if Coughlin doesn't know that yet, but he'll be relieved to see that. Yeah, that's crystal number 1 for Rollin. As F. Coughlin gonna go turn in that mushroom, get that lamp, and then probably head over to Eastern to go get that glove, and then head up the mountain. Oh, and this is a mountain sequence break from Sinak. Gets it through no problem, which is really funny when Fred immediately finds the lamp, and he's like, oh, by the way, oh, nice, that's a really nice clutch heart refill, because he was down to 1 heart, so things are a little spicy in there. And while we know how to get to the Dark World, once we do that, things are going to really start to open up. Map the big chest of Hera. And there's the small key. I don't know. I've peeked away for a bit. I don't know if we've seen... I'm assuming we've seen at least 1 item here in Hera so far. Supposedly there is a Helmasaur up here. Hera items are on boss and in basement. Boy. Well, here's a fun fight. I don't know if using bombs when you only have 2 left is a good idea, but... You know, saves you the trouble of having to use the hammer so many times, and I don't know why, but for some reason, sometimes when Helma's standing over the middle hole, the hammer has no effect on the mask, and it's weird. Oh, geez. I'd be a little careful if I was Divisines. Does have blue mail, so can take a couple hits. Gets the job done nice. I guess with no arrows, there's really not many options you have at that point, so... That is another crystal for Team Oops. Up 2 crystals to zip. And we should be heading to the Dark World here pretty shortly. And yeah, this is another interesting point. That would definitely come up in both a co-op and a single player, or, you know, a 1v1 scenario of, do I go back in for the Hera basement? Do I want to waste the time getting this? I think in this setup, it's always worth it, not only because this is a co-op, so only 1 person has to do it, but also because the last thing you want to do is leave the mirror here. Because then you have to go all the way back up and around. Listen, I tried to say their name in their game 1, and I butchered it horribly, so I'm going to save both of us the trouble. Alright, that's it for Spiral Cave. That's it for East Death Mountain. We're heading out of here. Okay, big moment here. Hera Basement. What do you got? $20. So Rollin, big sigh of relief, saving and quitting after Spiral Cave. Doesn't have to worry about leaving something huge behind in Hera Basement. And with there being no valuable items in Hera, that is a dungeon that Rollin can put off until heading towards Ganon's Tower. So it's another fun part about co-op. Okay, 5 and 6 over at T-Rock and Pod. Pendants at Swamp and Ice Palace. I think that was a green Ice Palace. I think. Pretty sure. Nice bombos here and Canis and Mario. Wow, 2 good finds. So this will be interesting. This might be a mirrorless seed with Swamp being dependent. This might be a... Yeah, that'd be about it. But, taking the route up to the pyramid. I like this just because, A, it's a co-op. You're trying to clear stuff. And also because with T-Rock being a Pyramid Fairy Crystal, even though you do have Canis Maria and Bombos, we're probably not going to be doing Pyramid Fairy anytime soon. So just getting this one off is nice so you don't, isolate it for a year. Right, let's see how Sinek handles this Helmistar King. Going for Hammer Strats only. As Divisigns heads into Skullwoods, it is a beatable Skullwoods. We do have, as far as we know, there's still a few items that we would like to find, but we know there's not going to be a Trinex chilling in Moth's room, because that's impossible. And with Barrage of Arrows, Sinek does take down Helma. We'll very likely head and do Hera Basement after this as well, just to clear that out. As F. Coughlin is heading into the Dark World to Hype Cave to get Bombos and Samaria. Well, we got a roller. We got a roller! See a roller. We got a Swampola. It's like Lamola, but swamp. Oh! Is that a Hera Basement skip on Sinek's side? Pretty cheeky. I think. Okay. With all of them going different directions, it's going to get even harder to see this. We do have an Armos Knights at Skullwoods, which is certainly interesting. Divisign's going to need to find some more arrows to make that a little bit easier. Now, the benefit of Armos being in that room is that, oh my god, so many yellow spikes, is that you can knock the Armos into the blades, into the spikes, to deal some extra damage. But yeah, it's gonna be hard to avoid damage in there in that fight. Okay, I don't think we've seen any items yet here in Skull. Maybe one, I don't know. Ooh, oh yeah, kind of hard to do the bomb jump when you have a Wall Master dropping on your head. There's the big key to Pod right in the front. That'll be nice if there's nothing in here and Divisigns can just go mode it. That's a real quick pod if that happens. Gonna get our first looks over at Stumpy and Digging Game. Another small key here in the front of Pod. There is our mirror. Wow, that's a really nice find for Sinek down at Stumpy, finding that mirror. Immediately give us a look at K45. Of course, at the same time, this was a situation where mirror was potentially not required because of a pendant swamp, but now, well, you got it, so what are you gonna do? And unfortunately, due to some lag, we didn't get to actually see what's at K45, so a bit of a bummer. Oh man, that is oh geez, that's a really awful room for Divisigns there. Yeesh. 2 fire bars? How do you avoid damage? I mean, okay, if you go fast enough, you can skip it. Okay, I guess it's not too bad. But still, I'm sure was not wanting to use up that fairy that early. Sinek grabbing... I can't imagine the team hadn't seen what was that library yet, but maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I also didn't catch what was that Digging Game either. Okay, let's see this Armos fight. Using up what arrows he has. Oh, so cool. Almost was able to get it down to just a single one. Oh. I love how the armless will kind of just like bail momentarily. It's a shame they don't just like leave. And then the game's like, oh, you beat them. They're gone. Good job. Oh, okay. There was the second item. I just saw the heart piece in the vanilla big key chest, and the second item here in Skull Woods is the Titan Mitts. That's going to be a good find for both teams right away. Ooh, you know what? This could lead into a. Oh, but Ice Palace is a pendant, and a green pendant too. Yeah, we don't like that. What else can we do? Well, we can do Dark Death Mountain. We can do... I guess Divisign's miscounted. Grabbing that small key for no reason. Dark Death Mountain, we could do Smith Chain. Someone's gonna have to do it. Rowland finding some land molas here at the back of Palace of Darkness. Not gonna lie, I don't know if he went straight for the... I'm assuming he went straight for the boss here and then is gonna go to the back? Or I just completely phased on back of Palace of Darkness. Alright, what do we got over at Chess Game? Just some bombs. And looks like Rollins going back in, so yeah, that was a... I kind of... I'm okay with that, you know. Without Mirror, you don't want to really Death Warp, and especially if you're still holding on to your fairy. So just... If you get the big key early, just go ahead and beat the boss and then go back in, and then you can save and quit. Fred being very careful with his arrows to make sure he can take down Armos no problem as Sinek heads into Thieves Town. Another crystal dungeon. Oh my gosh. The worst. Nice use of the bomb to deboost, and the rollers just get bigger. So I think with that blade there, I mean, you would be the blade trap bouncing back and forth there. You would be able to do the hammer jump, but all right, now we get confirmation Divisigns that K45 was nothing. We weren't able to see it on Sinak's side because of a little bit of stream lag. And I have not been paying attention. Have we seen anything of value here in Thieves Town yet? It's the other fun part about Randomizer is if you want, you can just go straight and fight the boss of Thieves and then consider leaving. Ignore the back of... You can skip like half of the whole entire dungeon. I'm going for the Bombos tactics just to clear some of the enemies out of this room. Yes, we are going to see some Smith for Divisigns, as F. Coughlin is heading through the Village of Outcasts, picking up a few spots that Sinak left. Ooh, having to farm some bombs, too. Sinak's got to be a little bit careful in here. Down to a heart and a half. I know he doesn't have his fairy anymore. It's the single arrow. Wonderful. And unfortunately, we missed a couple checks here. We do get the the shovel out of Palace of Darkness. Big chest. I assume this is a King's Tomb check real quick. Green rupee from turning into Smith. Yeah, Sinak's got to be super careful. Also, I just noticed that Sinak was bombing open the hole in the attic, which you absolutely do not need to do in Boss Shuffle and Randomizer. So, Could have avoided a couple of hits of damage. And we're gonna get a Vitreous. Gross. Fighter Sword. I mean, it's not too bad. You can get in with some spins and don't have to worry about the goop, because there is no goop. But yeah, it's a bit of a slow fight. Now, with the knowledge of a sword at Zora's Ledge, you know, these two runners could go get a Master Sword at some point and make some of these rooms and enemies a little bit easier to deal with. Fred taking out all the small eyeballs. Very well. Gonna go hammer strats. So I would definitely switch back to bow instead of using hammer at this point. Just to avoid dying. He does have a fairy, so he can play a little bit more recklessly, so. Man, good job, Sinak. Also staying alive here. He was down to half a heart, but it looks like he is able to bounce back. Assuming he got... Oh, he got the powder. Okay. Interesting. What do I do? Powder and ether, it looks like, was in the back here. Which is kind of nutty. Okay, Sinek got to be very careful. I think the only thing he can survive right now is that lightning bolt right there, but that unfortunately set him up to take another hit of damage. Honestly, since there was nothing on Vidi, on this boss, yeah, I would bail and come back with more health or better equipment. Where are we off to next? Yeah, and as of right now, Fred doesn't really need to worry about ether or powder at the moment. Not until it's confirmed whether we need it or not. Good chance of it, though, with the two medallion-locked crystals. Ooh. Both players on the left. Going to be a little bit of careful here. Rowling in a bit of a much easier scenario, dealing with Armos versus Vidi. And you never know, Vidi can just like hit you with a really weird arcing lightning bolt. Okay. Well done to Divisines, making it through that fight. So at this point, yeah, gotta still give it to Oops for getting through their crystal dungeons, avoiding some costly deaths, and you know they're picking up some more crystals against the bomb squad. Remember, chat, this is a pretty big race. The winner of this gets to stay in the Invitational League going into season 5. 5? Yeah, 5. That's what we're on. The loser of this race will be relegated to the Open League. And I'd say both teams both of them have, you know, especially interesting stories in regards to that bomb squad. They've been around since season 2. And I remember season 2 because I think they were somewhat close to contending for playoffs. I think until like week 6, 7. They were in the same division as I was in. As for Oops, they won the Open League last season and earned themselves a spot here in the Invitational League, so they, of course, don't want to get sent back right away. We're going to see a look at Graveyard Ledge as the other players are cleaning up. Synac's got to be super careful. He gets the heart right before getting hurt by a heart, or a half heart, so... This is not a very fun scenario to be in. And I don't think he's going to get any health drops, so... It's a shame he didn't powder the bunny beam in the previous room. Okay. This is... bad. Oh my gosh, he's alive. This is doable. Oh, geez. I would have been so pissed if that Armos just spawned on me and killed me. But that's Randomizer for you. You just never know what kind of shenanigans are going to happen. Gosh, why does it keep doing that? It's making me nervous. Nice. Gets through it. Gets his mitts. That's a very crucial moment. Because if he had died there, then he'd have to go and do that fight again with 3 arrows, which would be a lot harder to accomplish. And almost holding on to the mitts, kind of a big deal. Kind of those. Sign's picking up their bottle. A bottle with some blue goo in it. F. Coffin picking up his shovel. Heading up to Catfish. So we have some options right now. I think Swamp Palace... I mean, where do you want to go? Pendant Swamp or Pendant Ice? Also, just for a clarification, since it looks like the trackers are a little swapped, I believe it is Green Pendant Swamp, or Green Pendant Ice Palace, regular Pendant Swamp. Rather than finding the red mail here on the purple chest, which is real nice. Especially while we're still hunting for more swords. Now, we do know where one sword is. Divisine's about to pick that up here over in the Zora area. By the way, quick shout out to our trackers today. We got Lady Laura Linda and Iker. Thank you so much for hopping in and doing some tracking. Helps me out a ton. Everybody appreciates you. Fred getting the good news that just a land mollusk waits him at the end of this dungeon. One of the bigger aspects about this mode is boss shuffle. And while we're still without an ice rod, you just gotta wonder, okay, where's that Trinex? Where's he gonna be? I really do like the change where Compass will tell you what the boss is. I think that made this mode so much more enjoyable. And there is our third sword. So 2 flipper lock swords. There's always a sword in Spawn. Who'd have thought? Sinak picking up his second sword as Divisine's heads up to do Dark Death Mountain. Now this is an interesting scenario. Normally you're like, oh man, don't go to T-Rock without the ice rod. But hey, if we have the medallions, we have the means to get into T-Rock, and it's not being held hostage by Trinex, it could be beatable right now. But this is also a very key moment. If Ether is required, then that Back of Thieves is going to be necessary. So that could play a pretty big part for Bomb Squad, who right now I feel like are just slightly trailing in crystals. But that could be a game changer. Fred seeing the onslaught of enemies in this dark turtle room and thinking, nah, Bombos will do. Bombos will do just fine here. Ugh. We find a book in Pendant Swamp while we find the cape at Hookshot Cave. And a Stalfos Knight to block that hookshot shot again and again. Gonna have to go through that trip. Got 20 bucks. We got the flute. That is a required flute. And Cane of Burna, which is a nice... both Burna and Cape up here in Hookshot Cave. That's quite a nice find. Alright, moment of truth. Is Ether required? It is not yet. But we will find out relatively soon. That Bombos medallion we got relatively early is going to be the required medallion to get into T-Rock, which means that right now T-Rock is potentially beatable. And that brings up our next point. If we don't need another medallion, we might be in go mode, or as Fred likes to call it, blitz mode, where all you have to do is just go beat all the dungeons. It's a really scary situation to be in, though, because of the whole Trinex scenario. Now, you could have all the items that you need to get inside each dungeon, but, you know, you run into a Trinex somewhere and you don't have the Ice Rod, and all of a sudden all those skips you did are looking a little spooky. But we'll find out right here and right now pretty soon, because I'm assuming Divistines did that save and quit to go activate Flute and head on over to see if Meyer is indeed Bombos or Ether or Wickle. It looks like Synac did the same thing. Gonna go ahead and buy another potion. Good call. I agree. And another potion. 3 blues. Well, when you got the money to spare, you might as well. All right. Left side swamp has a compass. With a Trinex in a pendant swamp. That's a good situation. Also, it looks like Rollin accidentally forgot to hit the switch. And our medallion for Meyer is Ether, so the back of Thieves Town is required. That is huge for Bomb Squad right now. That is massive. Because that is a very easy thing to just never go back and do. Especially when you have other beatable dungeons. Okay, well. Now you're thinking to yourself, okay, the Trinex was in a pendant dungeon, so we're fine. Not quite. The type of boss shuffle we're doing for this is, I believe, full. Which means that there's going to be duplicates of at least 3 bosses. It's to kind of be similar to how the GT bosses work. So there's Quake. We don't need that. So there could be a second Trinex in this scene. Behind, locked, you know, could be in Meyer, could be in T-Rock. Or worse, in GT, either at Ice Armos or even at Lam. I think Lamelas 2 would be the worst to get stumped by Ice Rod. Looks like Synac gonna go get his mushroom, get his lamp, and then, yeah, I mean, the other big thing is this swamp, other than having a sword in the book, is not required. Unless that book leads to a required Ice Rod for a Trinex in one of those crystal dungeons or in GT. I don't think we're using it to have multiple, have more than 3 of the same boss would be Chaos. I think that's Chaos Boss Shuffle, which is a step up from what we're doing for League Week 7, so. Yeah, the max you can have is going to be 2 for any boss type. Yeah, this is really good for Bomb Squad right now. Like, they're in a very good position here. It looks like F. Coughlin's going to head up, grab his flute, grab some safeties out of Hookshot Cave. We might even see him just go ahead and do T-Rock. While Synac probably heads to go clear Meyer, and then at that point, we're just kind of on the lookout for that Trinex to show up. That's at this point, Bomb Squad is in a super good position. It really just depends on where Ice Rod shows up, where the second Trinex shows up, if there even is a second Trinex. There might not be. Yeah, this is unfortunate for Rollin, heading from one pendant dungeon to the next. Because, yeah, that Ether in the back of Thieves Town is probably going to stay there for quite a while. We might even see one of them go and clear all of T-Rock looking for it as well. It's super interesting. Just it's an aspect of this mode that is unique to this mode. Because you would never have that situation. Okay, I was about to say, Fred, you should probably go get at least one of the two safeties. I want to welcome everybody from SpeedGaming 8. Didn't know there was an 8. Welcome. We're in an interesting situation right now. Bomb Squad in a pretty good spot just because of one of their players diving the back of Thieves Town, leading to a required medallion. And at this point, they're just kind of blitzing through the seed. They're clearing the one they're both clearing a new dungeon, so they're going to have information for each other about where the small keys and big keys are. The big thing that they're looking for would be another sword. And there's a bug net. The ice rod. Now, if Fred clears T-Rock, doesn't find another sword, he will probably go to Zoro's ledge and grab that sword, and likely finish with Master Sword, but this race isn't over yet. This mode is still pretty hard, and you still have to be able to get through some of these Randomizer rooms that can be very punishing. Yeah, it's a tough situation. It's like, how much do I go mode? When I could be... I could just go mode all these dungeons, but I don't know if there's a training. So, they're going to be 100% looking for that compass to check the boss of each dungeon. Sinek taking a death. Thankfully had a fairy. Must have found another fairy in a bottle? Or maybe the waterfall fairy? Or one of the fairies? Yeah, because he doesn't have the cape yet, so... Alright, what kind of mire we got today? Oh, it's a nice one. Relatively nice. Not the best situation. You usually want to see it in the first chest, first two chests, but this is a close second. Oh no. Oh, I don't know if I would want to take a hit from a Hinox. These things are pretty strong. You know, with Quick Swap, I'm surprised Fred's not. Dude, he's 0-2 already. I'm surprised he's not going for Boomerang, stun the Hinox, and then bop him with a bomb. The reason why he's going for bomb strats is because Hinoxes, for whatever reason, die instantly to the bomb, but finds the silvers, which would also be a good item to use on them. That is a massive find. Especially if we're going to be wrapping up the seed with potentially only Master Sword. At least for the Bomb Squad, depending on how the rest of this goes. Okay, heading into the back of Mire, we'll see what the boss of Misery Mire is. I don't know if we've actually seen the compass yet. I don't think so. I think Sinek kind of just is... I think he's kind of go-moding this dungeon, it seems like. I know Sinek's probably feeling a little bit behind because of some early deaths, including the one in Thieves Town. He'll have a much easier time the second time he goes in there, because he'll have cape and Master Sword if he wants to do some safety spins. Now, I can't imagine he would go up to do TR and grab like the silvers and then go back down and do the rest, because that would just be a semi-unnecessary mountain climb. We have a Moldorm here in the back of Misery Mire. Easy boss. Accidentally pokes him. Ron about to get his silver arrows. Oh, nice cape usage. Yeah, you never know what kind of stupid enemies are going to show up here. Oh my gosh. It's like that second roller. Whew. So grabbing that cape, good call. Imagine not having cape going through there. Like you just like in that. It's kind of the fun, but also the worst part about randomizers. There's some situations where you're just forced to take damage and there's literally nothing you can do about it. Oh. Is he gonna check it? It'd be kind of silly, he's right here, but... Oh. It's an Armos. Okay. So right now, the only thing stopping us would be a Trinex in GT, blocking the big key, or up the gauntlet. So that is very good for Bomb Squad. Oh, and there is our fourth sword. And Fred skipped it. Oh, no. Wait, didn't he also... I thought he went outside. He went out... He doesn't have the mirror. He never got the mirror off of Stumpy. Oh. Okay, well, that kind of makes things a little interesting. I can't imagine Sinak will check that towards the end of the seed when he's heading up there, so... While the Bomb Squad's going to get to avoid those pendant dungeons entirely, they're both going to have to finish with Master Sword Silvers. Yeah, I mean, at this point now, it's kind of just a waiting game. We're just waiting to see if a Trinex shows up anywhere. Sinek grabbing his big key. Gonna drop down, grab a small key, mirror out, and go straight to the back. I'd be feeling pretty good with Tempered Sword and Silvers, but I'd also... I mean, after this, where do we head next? Hair is cleared, desert's cleared, swamp's cleared. You know, do you go... I think I would definitely go to Thieves Town just to clear it. And then check the back for sure. And I would send Divicines. If I was their team, I'd send Divicines to Ice Palace at this point, maybe. While Rollin goes in to check the back and then fight the boss. But, yeah, it's a real tough call. But at the same time, well, I was going to say at the same time, Rollin having done Swamp and Desert for nothing but a sword, is probably feeling a little bit behind on the crystal count. But it's not like he... Yeah, I mean, that's why I would send him to Thieves Town, so he can go get another crystal. For those that are just getting here or missed it, Ether was in the back of Thieves Town. I believe it was in the Maiden Cell. And it is our required medallion to get into Misery Mire. Oh, Fred does... He does have the mirror. Okay. So he just didn't check Mimic Cave. Which makes sense. He's kind of blitzing through the seed. But just kind of... Oh my gosh. Just kind of unfortunate that that would have been a really nice sword, and then he'd get to avoid having to go to Zora's Ledge to get a sword. So for Sinek, he just has to go back, finish Thieves Town, go up to Skullwood, or do T-Rock into GT. Fred, at this point, has to go finish Eastern, I guess? He'll clear Mire, and then go up and do Hair, so... Divicines, having already cleared the front of the dungeon and beat the boss, is heading back in to check the back of Thieves Town to get that Ether. It's interesting that Fred is continuing to go without picking up his Master Sword, because there is really no other convenient time to pick it up, since he's not going to Ice Palace ever. But at the same time, like, they are still looking for 2 more swords that could be out there. But I feel like I would have gone ahead and picked it up before heading to Meyer, maybe. Oop. Gotta shoot the heart. I was hoping we get to see Spike Cave, but probably not. Question in chat, are silvers on the path? Yes, they're in the lava chest of T-Rock. So kind of on the path. I mean, you gotta go and steal a key anyway, but you might as well just use that to go grab silvers. You know, it'd be interesting to see if Sinek does end up checking, like, Mimic Cave. It's kind of an annoying situation. You have a bunch of rats and snakes that might have the small key. It's like, and it was that rat. No, it wasn't. It was that one. Wait, it was there the whole time. It was just sitting on the ground. Yeah, for those rooms with all the enemies, sometimes it's just better to go in and just pop them with the medallion. And hopefully we'll get Divisigns back here soon. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Bomb Squad in a good position, but this could easily come down to execution, and the sword advantage that at least Rollin's going to have is going to be... Well, I would assume if you're going through T-Rock, you would definitely grab the Tempered Sword out of Mimic Cave. If you knew it's there. Yeah, there's going to be moments where, like, the death that Sinek took in Thieves Town, fighting the boss, is going to start coming back. Otherwise, he'd be heading up to T-Rock right now, right after picking up this compass and crystal. I'm not sure what the bottle contents are for either of the Bomb Squad. Fred's been playing very loose, very risky. Not picking up safeties. I hope he eventually remembers to go pick up the Master Sword on Zora's Ledge. Well, for our 2 runners that aren't frozen on the stream, we are in Misery Mire, where a one-eyed Moldorn haunts these halls. F. Coughlin now just has to go back and beat Eastern Palace. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. This could also easily come down to, I mean, there's still the whole Ice Rod question mark going on here. Okay, no, looks like Fred actually has 6 crystals already. So he's going to go get his sword and probably head up the mountain to go finish Hera and go into GT. Okay. Yeah, I saw when he paused that he had 6 crystals, it looked like. I'm guessing maybe... I don't remember. Maybe he beat Eastern after Pod? Sinek back in the Vidi fight, utilizing the map and Master Sword. I would definitely recommend going for spins here instead of dashes. Dashes are kind of not great with Master Sword. Dashing with Tempered Sword would be a little bit better. But yeah, spins, because they deal Tempered Sword damage, will make a lot more difference, and you can damage more eyeballs at the same time for Tempered Sword damage. So you're doing a lot more DPS than dashing with sword. Well, with that in mind now, it does look like Bomb Squad has a pretty comfy lead at this point. We're still on the lookout for a couple things, mostly Trinex. An Ice Trinex would be just brutal. Divicines will very likely pick up that Tempered Sword at Mimic Cave and have Tempered Sword going into GT. I can't imagine trying to do Hammer Ice Trinex or something, especially without an Ice Rod, but... Yeah, with Thieves Town done for Rollin, just has to go to Meyer and then into Hera. Divicines is heading up the mountain to go to T-Rock into GT. Sinak has the flute, has already completed Misery Mire. All he has left to do is go clear out Turtle Rock, and then he can head into GT. While Fred is mirroring outside of GT to go Hera Pot, beat up the Helmstar King that's up here, and then enter GT. Which, honestly, we're just a little bit past the hour mark, and Fred's going to be in GT in like 2 minutes. It's pretty quick. Boy, I gotta say, when streams are freezing constantly, it kind of makes things hard to commentate. So bear with us, everyone. I guess that's the upside about having 4 screens on stream at once, is that when half of them aren't working, you still have something to watch. Okay, 1 silver arrow. Helmstar King is dead. Sinak Divicine's gonna be swapping leads probably here, going through T-Rock. Oh yeah, that sword knowledge is gonna be interesting. Yeah, if you're cheering for, if you're cheering for chaos, you want there to be a Trinex at like Lamel is too, or Ice Trinex, or Ice Armos, and Ice Rod is like somewhere really stupid. If you're cheering for Bomb Squad, you want Big Key to be... I don't know. Big Key would probably need to be right away. Just so, even though they have a sword difference, they give him plenty of a lead. Then, our 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Fred is the first one into Ganon's Tower. He's going to go left first, trying to clear as many checks as possible in here, looking for that Big Key. At this point, there's really no more safeties that he's going to be looking out for, or that he's going to find in here. We know where the other 2 swords are. We know what the red mail is. There might be a 4th bottle in here. That'd be about it. Coming up in Stalfos' room, we got a heart piece. We've got the blue boom. We've got 3 bombs and a shield. Oh, use that bug net. Use that bug net. There you go. Like Rollin taking an unfortunate death in the dark room of Misery Mire. That's gonna be interesting that he never went, I guess, never went and got that lamp. Which for the most part isn't a big deal at this point anymore. I mean, the worst thing he has... That was probably the worst thing he had to deal with was Misery Mire and T-Rock, so he's good to go now. Sinek still holding on to that lead. That's an interesting aspect about co-op GT. There's so many different ways you can route GT. Wait, when did he... Oh, he ran out of keys. Oh, that's a rare sight to see. Yeah, of course. Well, he's gonna have a laugh if it ends up being over here. Well, that's a Misery Mire done for Rollin. Gonna go pick up some potions, head up the mountain, and I believe just has to beat Tower of Hera and then head into GT. So I'd say him and his teammate are probably gonna be wrapping up or heading into GT roughly around the same time. The big moment coming up here, though, Divisign's gonna mirror, probably grab that sword. We're not gonna see it. Fred getting a little beat up here in the corner. Oh my gosh. The frustration sinking in. That's Randomizer for you. Randomizer can just piss you right off. Alright, is it in Compass Room? There's a map. Ooh, nice clutch refill there. It is! Oh my... The bailout! That's funny. Only downside is he had no magic, so it might be worth to go back over there. And he's frozen. Okay, cool, great. So we have 3 streams on screen frozen right now. So, oh, okay, Sinak's back. He's gonna go set up a safety door. So right now, the only thing that could possibly happen that would be the utmost chaos would be a Trinex at Lamola's 2. If we get to see it. I don't know if we... Maybe. Yeah, unfortunately, a couple deaths on both sides, but... Tap Bomb Squad. This is going to be interesting. You know, the lead... Bomb Squad had a pretty good lead, but I'm starting to think that the sword difference is going to maybe play a pretty big part here. Sinai taking a lot of deaths here on Laser Bridge. I don't understand why he's not just using Burna or Cape. I mean, he has them. I mean, the first death made sense because, you know, he had like 2 hearts. So it's kind of a strategic death just to get a health refill, but he's taking a lot of damage in here. He needs to be very careful. Nice use of that powder. Down goes Helma for Rollin. We got a cold stare at Mammal's Tube, so no chaos today, chat. The only Trinex was at a non-required Pendant Swamp, so. Which, this makes sense. Honestly, I don't know if it's just biased or whatnot from the few seeds that I've run in preparation for this week, but I feel like anytime there was a required Trinex, the Ice Rod usually liked to show up relatively early. But I'm sure there was potentially a case of that. There had to have been a case of that this week, right? A required Trinex somewhere late game and having to go back and find Ice Rod somewhere. But with that, we have 3 teams heading into GT. Fred with a pretty good lead at this point, depending on how Rollin decides to route this GT. If he grabs a key here and goes right side, he's gonna be looking real good. And he is, so that is a huge find. This is gonna be close, I think. Now Tempered Sword is gonna speed up the climb a little bit. You know, there's certain enemies that won't die in one hit with a Master Sword. Tempered Sword will help a little bit against Cold Stare if you're trying to conserve magic, and will definitely help against Ganon, Phase 1 and 2, especially if you're not comfortable with cane strats or anything like that. Though, if you get a good pattern for Ganon, using the cape with half magic will work. But yeah, once again, you know, I don't know what the contents of these potions are for either member of Bomb Squad. I know Fred did pick up a fairy in Stalfos' room, but that's about it. Man, there's our other duplicate, a Moldorm. So we had what? Two Armos, two Moldorms. Fred unfortunately taking a fall there. That is not time that he has to spend. Okay, Sinek does make it through. This is gonna be crazy. We're gonna have 3 people climbing up the gauntlet, like, roughly at the same time. And we're gonna really see in action how much the sword makes a difference here. Even if Rollin and Divisine's finish ahead of Sinek, will Fred have a big enough of a lead to balance stuff out? Fred also needs to play really well in these next 2 fights just to make sure he can get himself a big enough lead. I'm pretty sure that those Tempered Swords are going to make a difference up this climb. Yeah, especially for Sinek, I kind of would like to maybe see him use... I guess it depends on the arrow. Ether is not really useful when you're dealing with rooms with popos, because it'll just freeze them, and then you have to go and bonk them on the head. Sinek also needs to be careful. Only has 10 arrows. There is a couple free arrows along the way. Agatu down for Fred. He's heading into the Ganon fight. Let's see how well his Master Sword Ganon goes. For those wondering where the swords were, there was one in the first item chest of Pendant Swamp. The second was in Mimic Cave. And Fred was in, I believe Fred was in T-Rock with the mirror, but ended up not checking. That was the only thing he didn't check in T-Rock. He checked everything else, just not that. Okay. Looking good for Sinek. Need some good hits in. Still holding his lead in front of Divisines. Right onto phase 2. I'm assuming if he's not going to use his cape for this, that he probably doesn't have a spare potion. Though he could probably get away with using it a little bit. There we go. That was a good use. Mostly just to avoid damage. Cold Stare at Lamel is 2 for Sinek, using Bombos to break the shell. I would assume he's just wailing him with Fire Rod just to clear it real quick, because that Master is not going to do much damage. Ooh, a little late on the spin. Gotta use Fire Rod here. Yeah, that's the other thing. Divisine's not only has Tempered Sword, but also has, I think, 3 blue potions if he hasn't already used one of them. Might actually overtake Sinek here. Definitely overtaking Sinek here with that Tempered Sword. And Fred moving on to phase 4. Needs to get some good patterns. Oh, that was so close. He almost got fire batted. Okay, gonna get a double here. Oh! That's gonna do it for Fred. Okay. Divisigns does take a lead over Synac, but Fred has a pretty good lead over the other team, so this is all up to Synac to finish out here. Of course, he doesn't know how close it is. He might know that his opponents haven't finished yet, so... Yeah, get your GGs in chat for F. Coughlin. So for those unfamiliar, the winner of the match is the team with the average time. So don't believe what the overlay says. That's just part of how SpeedGaming handles players being finished. We don't know who the winner is yet. Missing out on potentially a couple triples here, but does take down Aga 2. Is going to be heading into the fight against Ganon. Synac needs to kill one of these Hinoxes for a small key. Oh no, that's a really bad spot for that Hinox to be. That's really unfortunate. Boomerang? Boy, that would it's a good thing you had that boomerang, because that's that'd be pretty awful if it came down to that. Oh boy. Not a good way to start this Ganon fight for Rollin, taking a hit, missing the Trident spin. A couple of Rage Slashes come out, using a blue potion right off the bat just to ensure he doesn't die. Now he's gonna have still gonna have a pretty easy time because it is Tempered Sword Ganon. Curious to see where Divisigns is at this point. Probably fighting Aga 2. Maybe already killed Aga 2 at this point. Synac's got to be careful. He can't really afford to take a fall. Just needs to... Doesn't even have to spin. Just needs to slash him. And unfortunately takes that fall. It's unfortunate. He has so much magic. You could just cape there and then avoid taking any sort of damage or getting knocked down. I know it's a very high pressure moment, so it's easy to just kind of not think about it, but... One more hit. Ugh. Good old hammer hitbox. Rolling into phase 4. That's 1 silver. That's 2. That's 3, 4. That's it. That's Ganon for Rollin, as Divisign's about to head into phase 4 himself as well. This is looking like Team Oops might be come from behind with those sword differences. I mean, that's such an important aspect about Randomizer is dealing with Randomizer. And it can be really hard to deal with Randomizer, especially when you get some weird enemy patterns. But yeah, GG's. I don't know what people, if someone in chat can real quick do some quick maths to figure out how soon Synac needs to finish. Oh, I didn't even see that. Divisign's, how did he fall? How did he fall? That's really bad. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that. That's not good at all. That is, oh no. I didn't even see, was he waiting for the bridge to land, or what happened? Went before the bridge. Oh no. I'll always advise, before you take your eyes off the screen to like go to the race time room, especially if you have boots, you can stand up there. Just make sure you dash until your sword goes up. That's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. That might actually be the deal breaker here. But Sinek still has to execute. He still has to finish this fight. Does Sinek have a fairy? He does. Okay. Okay, once again, this is a tough situation. I know, like, when you're up against opponents that you think you don't have time to spare, but like potions are so huge, especially in this mode. Potions are big. But yeah, there's Ganon down. There's a sword up. We're not falling this time. Divisine's gonna finish up. It's all on Sinek now. Yeah, get your GGs in chat. Sinek cannot afford a death here. He needs to use that cape. He has half magic. He has silvers. Please use the cape. What? It's so unnecessary. Okay. He manages to get through. He's into phase 3. Reminder, the team that wins stays in the Invitational League going into the next season. The team that loses is heading back to the Open League, potentially. And by potential, I mean assuming all the teams join next season. But yeah, this is kind of a big deal. Sinek still has to be very careful. He cannot take a death here. Well, good call. Catches, see where Ganon's going. Avoiding that path. You don't want to hit the torch and have Ganon spawn on your head. And that's going to do it. That is it. The race is over. And with that, I think the math works out that the Bomb Squad is gonna stay in the Invitational. Clutching out that win there. It's really unfortunate that it came down to a Ganon fall at the end. It's tough because it's also like, you know, there's so many things you could have done to save a couple minutes at any point in the race. So I try not to focus on that last mistake, but I feel for you, man. That's unfortunate. We're gonna get both teams in here. Welcome, welcome. GG's to both of you. That was nuts. Sinek, I have so many things I want to yell at you about, but I'm not gonna do it now.
You see, you're looking at somebody who hasn't practiced at all. Like, well, last time I played races was like months ago, before the league.
Well, then so. I'd say you did pretty dang good then. So. Yeah. Just congrats to the Bomb Squad. I think that puts you guys still in the Invitational for next season. So avoiding that relegation. And yeah, how does that make you guys feel? Relieved?
I caught the last 10 minutes and I saw Divisine's fall. Apparently he said in race time chat, I'll probably talk about it a little bit more, but apparently I had a controller issue.
Yeah, he said in chat that it was a ghost input. which
Eek.
Yeah.
that's just so unfortunate. Also, hello, Rowland. Sorry, man. That's rough.
It started or it ended how it started. We lost the first race to an unfortunate death against Cold Stare, where the input was not what it was supposed to be. Yeah. And the last race, yeah. We just saw how it ended.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, man.
It was interesting to see how this is going to shape up, just because of Sinak making the back of Thieves Town dip, getting ether, but the sword difference definitely played a part. So it kind of was going to be relatively balanced. Just yeah. I couldn't predict how it was going to finish until I noticed that I had the race time room up and I saw a couple people finish, so I had to minimize it real quick. But yeah, Randomizer. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure y'all were sweating a little bit, going up Gauntlet, waiting for that Trinex to show up.
Oh yeah, that was definitely something we were concerned about as we were as I was climbing there. I took out a couple of the enemies, like, okay, Sinakar, do we have a chance here? And then, oh, okay, yep, we're good.
Good to go. Yeah, there was one Trinex, I believe, in Swamp. We saw that on a map check.
Yep,
Okay.
I knew about it, and with that information, and we knew that there was just one duplicate left somewhere, we were pretty confident that there wouldn't be a Trinex in our path. I mean, you never know, but we played as if the one Trinex we had in the seat was already in Swamp and there was not another.
Yeah.
Which then may not be, we don't know.
I mean, I haven't watched too many of these races this week. I haven't been able to. But I don't think there has been too many cases of a late game Trinex showing up and stopping all progression until you find that Ice Rod. Maybe like an early Trinex find and then a late game Ice Rod hunt, but nothing like we're climbing GT and there he is. So
yeah, I was a little bit scared that was going to be what was going to happen, but fortunately, did not.
One question I've got, maybe to some people who probably watched more Randomizer races this week. So in the last hotfix, or was that the hotfix before that? I don't remember now. We added a feature where if you have the compass and you open up the map, it'll tell you what the dungeon boss is. How heavily is that played into races? I know that it played effect here, at least on the other team, was able to scout out a Trinex and Swamp earlier.
That was exactly what I did in this Swamp. I could mirror after the waterfall chest because I didn't have the Ice Rod and I knew I would run into a Trinex, so I saved myself the walk over to Argus boss fight.
I personally, I feel like it was a tremendous change in the right direction. I had such a huge shift in how you play this game, this mode in particular, knowing that you're not going to go all the way to Cold Stare and get stopped instantly. Yep. Now you could still if a compass is on the boss, but
yeah, it's rarer, and that's kind of how rando works, right? Sometimes you do get just you have to do something blind. It happens every once in a while, and that's just part of how it works.
Yeah, but I think it's a really great change, and
I think so. Yeah, it does change a little bit of how you can attempt some things, especially early Eastern plays, where you might be able to kill the boss or not, knowing way in advance if there is a Cold Stare in there or just a Moldorn or an Argus like today can help tremendously in making decisions how you route early game or what do you attempt with what equipment.
I definitely feel like this mode, especially with the compass info, works so perfectly in a co-op scenario. You could be like, oh, watch out, there's a big yellow spike on the room before Laser Bridge. Just, stuff like that, if you remember.
I'd say it's more fun than just straight up open.
Yeah,
for sure. Now with that change, I would have to agree with that.
So I had a question for Mr. F. Coughlin. I know you guys were kind of in a blitz mode at a certain point, and like it just I find it funny that the one thing you did skip going through T-Rock was the sword at Mimic Cave. You had the mirror at the time, right?
I did have the mirror. Yeah, I just completely decided no, I'm not risking this.
But you checked big chest, but you didn't do Mimic Cave while you were over there.
Well, I checked big chest because I checked lava chest, and therefore I was keyless, and I knew that at that point you've got the keys, and the key layouts are bad, and probably a small key at the big chest. Whereas a 30-second hit for we hadn't done any of Swamp, we hadn't done any of Ice Palace, we hadn't done Hammersmith Chain, Top of Dark World, Catfish, Pyramid, just listing off all those things that we hadn't done, as well as GT. So it was like, a 2 in 40, 50 at that point chance checks left. So I was like, the odds of that one, a 30-second check, didn't think that one was going to be worth it. Of course, I was dead wrong on that assessment.
Yeah,
but
I think that's a good decision ultimately, but it did not work into your favor. And then, of course, the other sword was in the front of Swamp. You did. I was kind of surprised how long you put off getting your Master Sword, just because there really was no other better time to go get it.
There was no better time to get it. I mean, I wish I'd done it, but apparently I must have, with whatever arrows I'd used previously in the seed, I must have locked up my memory, so I couldn't hit the fake flipper stuff when I was up on Zora the first time there.
Oh, yeah.
I think it must have been what was happening, because I was using the bow as my primary weapon. I probably spammed a little bit too much, and I got the dirty memory in place. At least that's what I think, because I mean, usually I would at least get the first of those two, and I didn't, so I'm not positive about that.
I was told that if you drop 2 bombs straight into the water, that it resets those values.
I didn't.
It's not a universal clear from what I was told, but it fixes most of the bad stuff.
I've learned something new today.
Or spam the lamp a ton of times. It's one of those.
Okay, so I was gonna say I've now learned a new thing here in this conversation. So thank you to whoever made these suggestions in chat there. But yeah, I just said, okay, I can't get this now, so next boss that I need to fight, well, let me go do that. Okay, well, the boss in there wasn't really a great time to go back up there until I got those flippers, and then of course boss in Skull Woods was Armos, so we don't need the sword for that. Vitreous would have been nicer, but at that point I was like, I'm already in here, I'm literally right next door, let me at least kill this boss so that way I don't have to come back later on. Of course I did, but just in case. And so I went in there, I was like, oh shoot, I've got the spider sword, but pretty much all the other bosses I ran into were ones that I had other weaponry to help with. So I basically just said, you know what, it's not worth it right now to go get that. I've got the other tools in my kit, and then just get the sword when I need it and hope to run into one on the way. Funny game.
Makes sense.
Funny game,
yeah. I did want to point out a super clutch moment was Sinek fighting Armos at Skull Woods with like 1 heart.
Oh yeah,
that was nuts.
I heard about that. I'm gonna have to watch that.
I don't know how you dodged those. I was waiting for one because they would like go up into the wall and then spawn underneath you.
Yeah.
And twice you got very close to that happening and taking you out, and I was like, wow, okay.
It's even better. You guys should have been using my audio because I run with double heart speed.
Oh no, absolutely not. No thanks.
Just to up the intensity a little bit.
The other one thing I wanted to point out that I did see on the other team's side, the much more utilization of the potion shop, which I think ended up helping them out quite a bit. Fred or Sam, did you guys ever like actually buy a potion or two?
I didn't, because I always had fairies and bottles.
Okay.
I dumped my fairy in Hyrule Castle for the death before going to the back to get the small key chest there. Then when I did the waterfall fairy, she dumped me a fairy, so I was like, well, I'm not going to dump that now, especially with half magic. And then
see, you have 2 fairies right now. So okay.
And then the second one was just I think it was a B. I dumped it out at some point, and then I didn't think to go to GT. Kept saying to myself, okay, I got the fairy in my pocket, and then I think I was climbing GT. I killed something, and a fairy showed up. I'm like, okay, and grabbed that as the extra. I was kind of wishing I had the magic a little bit there just to make it a little bit easier for the cape piece, but I kept saying to myself, okay, I got half magic. I can do most of the cape piece if Ganon ends up in a specific spot for me to be friendly pretty quickly, hopefully.
That was the one thing I was wondering about. It's like, okay, neither of them are like using cape, and Sinek wasn't even using his fire rod on Cold Stare at all, which was making me very loud. So I was assuming, okay, none of them have potions, but that's fine.
Yeah. In hindsight, when I went to go grab that lamp, I probably should have bought some potions. I was flush with cash, so.
You could have got it with the lamp. Okay, that's fine.
I grabbed the lamp because I was into Misery Mire and like Dark Rooms, Misery Mire, Randomizer, like not happening for me, right? So I spent the time on that, but I should have went and got some. I should have bought potions while I was there. I think I had like one bottled fairy, maybe. I think
you had the one that you got in Kakariko.
Yeah, I think I still had it.
I think you ended up using that in one of the later dungeons.
I know
exactly.
Yeah, and I figure between that, I had half magic as well, so like I really wasn't feeling the pressure on the magic front. I probably could have used the fire if I had, like you said, if I had like a blue potion. I probably could have been more aggressive with the fire rod. On Cold Stare and save some time. But I also knew that I think at that point, like Divi Signs hadn't finished. I don't even think Rel and I don't think either of them had finished at that point.
No, I don't think so either.
So like I was kind of like feeling, well, I'm just gonna slow walk this because I know that Fred was far ahead at that point.
Yeah,
and we had a decent buffer. I kind of underestimated just how much of a buffer I had. But
that's the thing is you never know, and like. If all of a sudden they both finished like simultaneously,
that could have been.
We almost had.
We almost did, yeah.
So, that's kind of it's the fun part about co-op is you never really know where your opponents are. I mean, and it's like, how safe should I play? Should I play risky? Can I open one more chest? Is that fine? But yeah, that was a nutty race. That early ether was just such a huge find. But then, despite that, like the other team, like you guys caught up so quick. It was nuts to watch. You cleared all of swamp and desert pretty much. Did you get both items out of desert? I might have missed that, Roland.
Not sure. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that Divisons mentioned there is an item on Helma and desert, which means we only got the Quake.
Oh, okay.
Which also was a small communication error or brain lag. Divisons didn't check the TR requirement. So when I came out of Swamp, I had the book. I knew I could get the Quake before I head up the mountain and check TR.
And that guarantees you... Yeah, at that point, that would guarantee you going into TR versus a coin flip of walking up there and losing the time. That makes sense.
Well, we didn't have either at that point.
Oh, you didn't have either. Yeah, that's true.
Would have been 2 medallions instead of 1. So
yeah, so it definitely would have helped you out.
Yeah.
It was a good play.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. Well, I don't know if I have any more questions. Roland, do you have any closing statements?
It's hard at the moment because I know looking at our season there was more possible and there were at least 3 races that we probably should have won if there wasn't just one mishap. So it just yeah.
That's understandable. It's tough.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, same. Like, yeah, I know that feels bad.
Yes, especially after we won the Open League last season. So yeah, we felt we had a decent chance. And to be fair, with this exact lineup we started the league with, we barely missed Season 3 in invitation, because if the invitations would have been handed out to the first 4 places of the Season 2 divisions, we missed that place 4 by tiebreakers.
Oh.
For Season 2?
Yeah, for Season 3, the first Invitational League.
Oh, right.
No,
Oh, gotcha.
I believe the season.
Yeah,
was
you guys
used.
finished 7-7, I think.
No. Yeah, I
Season
think so.
2.
We finished, I believe, the same score with the leftovers, I think.
Yeah.
But they had the tiebreaker over us.
Oh, you're saying if top 4 moved on.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or got the invitation there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
It's just an unfortunate way
I'm sure
to go back.
It's frustrating, because I can imagine getting through winning in the Open League, or even just finishing top 4 is it's difficult. Especially because it's randomizer, and there's a lot of good teams in the Open League that are definitely invitational contenders, I'd say. So, but yeah, it's unfortunate. But I wish you the best of luck in next season, and hope to see you back in the Invitational going into Season 6.
Yeah, you were a really solid team. I mean, as you said, you caught a couple of bad breaks there, but just with, again, seeing, you guys play, you guys are certainly invitational level players. So, it's really sad to see what's happened there. Hopefully you'll be able to come on back up here quickly, because I think you guys are going to, kick butt in the Open and come back up here really, really quickly. So, it was a great race. Definitely enjoyed playing against you, and looking forward to more of the madness in the future.
Yeah. So we, at least I'm sure I will be back in some shape or form. I can't say we will probably not be back in this exact lineup. There's some talking, or there was some talking that we are probably going to switch up some things, some way. But yeah, at least I'm motivated to give it another try.
Yeah.
For the invitation, so we will see.
There's always, it's kind of the interesting part about each season is how the teams switch up, and there's like people trading back and forth, and some individuals get moved up to an invitational from Open and stuff like that. So who knows? Who knows what can happen? Sinek, did you have anything to say? I know you're muted right now.
Oh,
okay, now you're not.
Check out SG Live. It's happening right now.
Sweet. Yeah, you should. I agree.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and plug this. If somebody does the exclamation point Triforce text, if you want to have your own Triforce text put in at the end of one of the races for ALTTPR, for SpeedGaming Live, for $30 you can have one. And it will appear at least once on a broadcasted race, and then it'll be in the pool after that. That can be picked randomly. So, and the proceeds go to the prize pool for next year. So, exclamation point Triforce texts.
You set me up. It didn't work.
Didn't work?
Am I dumb? Did I spell it wrong?
I'll find the link here. Triforce texts. Is that?
Nope.
What the heck? All right.
There's a link that will eventually show up for you all to be able to click on and do.
Sinacbot will take care of it here in just a second.
While you're doing that, I'll look and see what else is going on in league-wise today. There is a race, I believe, going on right now over on SpeedGaming 6. Boomer Friendly versus New Swag at Jackson. The team, I believe, is trying to avoid relegation, while the other team is trying to steal a spot, that last playoff spot. So head on over there after this to go check that out. And we do have a link in chat for them Triforce texts. Do the thing. Give us a good laugh. You better give us a good laugh. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for here on SG5 for the league. I don't know. There's probably something coming up on this channel later. Want to thank everyone again for being a part of this. Thanks to the runners and GGs on the hard-fought race. Thank you to Lady Laura Linda and Iker for tracking this bad boy. Thanks everybody for watching, and thanks for letting me do some fun solo comms. I had a good time.
Thank you so much for that, Willard. Definitely gonna enjoy listening back to your unique sense of humor.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed listening to the last 10 minutes, so I won't imagine what the rest of it will be. Should I like brace myself for?
I only yelled at you twice, Sinak, so you're fine.
Okay, all right.
Thanks everybody.
All right, thanks. All right, bye.